All right, if you've been locked in a chair, hunched over a computer, or maybe strapped into a car seat all day, you've got to listen to this. Consider this explainer a mandatory software update for your entire body. I mean, human beings just weren't designed to be folded in half like a laptop for 8 hours a day. We're taking all the brilliant insights from Move's method on how to completely reverse the physical damage of that desk shift, using nothing more than 15 minutes of targeted movement. You don't need any fancy equipment. You literally just need a floor and a willingness to actually listen to your body. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap to feeling human again. First, the desk worker's dilemma. Second, phase 1, ground decompression. Then, phase 2, the slow flow. After that, phase 3, nervous system integration. And finally, the 15-minute daily payoff.
So, starting with part 1, the desk worker's dilemma, locked up and compressed.
Think about how you feel right now. You know that morning stiffness that makes tying your shoes an absolute chore, or maybe the terrible sleep quality, or that constant nagging ache in your lower back. Well, this happens because your spine and your hips are literally compressed and stuck in one rigid pattern for hours on end. When people try to fix this, they almost always resort to passive stretching. They hold a stretch, grimace, and wait for the muscle to relax. But here's the secret. Your body doesn't respond well to passive stretching after being locked up all day. Instead, you need active restoration. You have to actively move through the tension to give your body some much-needed dynamic input. Passive stretching fails because your nervous system is completely stuck in that rigid pattern. Like the source material brilliantly points out, we need to give it new information. Your brain literally thinks being hunched over a desk is your new natural state. Crazy, right? So we have to feed it fresh movement data. We are essentially overwriting the bad code of your workday with a 15-minute system reboot. So here is the 3-step logic for how we rewrite that code. Step 1 is decompression, where we create actual physical space in the body. Step 2 is flow, where we restore the ranges of motion you lost while sitting. And step 3 is integration, which is all about downregulating your nervous system so you can actually get some restful sleep. It's a perfectly logical, step-by-step transition from a tense workday straight into deep recovery. Moving on to phase 1, ground decompression, creating actual physical space. Okay, so before we can ask your body to move well, we literally have to unglue your ribcage and your spine from their 8-hour desk slump. We start right on the ground with child's pose lateral reaches. By reaching to the side and taking deep breaths, you're prying apart your ribs and opening your lats, areas that probably haven't moved a millimeter all day. Next up, you'll do 10 reps of cat-cow to downward dog to wake up that posterior chain. And finally, flip onto your back for supine knee circles. You just pull your knees to your chest and draw gentle circles for about 30 seconds aside. You're not forcing anything here, you're just letting all that accumulated tension absolutely melt out of your lower back. Now, while you're doing that cat-cow movement, I really want you to keep this concept in mind. Spinal hygiene. Your spine is beautifully designed to move through flexion and extension, going vertebra by vertebra. When you do this, whatever you do, don't rush it. Use it to gather information about your own body. Notice which parts of your spine feel smooth and which parts feel totally glued together. You're essentially brushing the plaque off your nervous system. All right, phase 2, the slow flow, restoring the missing ranges of motion. Now that we've created some much-needed space in the joints and the spine, it's time to actively move through it. We're focusing on 4 key movements here: quadruped hip circles, a low lunge flow, active pigeon, and 90-90 transitions. But notice the underlying theme: dynamic lengthening and moving through tension. When you're in the low lunge or the active pigeon, you aren't just freezing in some static hold. You're rocking forward, backward, side to side. You are dynamically exploring the position. I really want to hammer this core philosophy home because, honestly, it changes everything. Your body needs to move through the tension, not just sit in it. Think about it. When you're in that active pigeon pose, if you just push down and hold, your body fights back. It tightens up. But when you gently rock side to side, the hip just naturally releases. Tension is released through dynamic exploration, not by forcing static pressure. Let's look a bit closer at those 90-90 transitions. This is where you sit with your legs bent at 90 degrees and slowly windshield wiper them side to side. This is absolutely crucial because your hips are your body's foundation. Sitting all day literally destroys your internal and external rotation. And what happens when your hips lose that rotation? Your lower back and your knees are forced to pick up the slack and overcompensate. By doing these transitions, you fix the foundation itself, and the rest of the house finally stops creaking. Which brings us to phase 3, nervous system integration, preparing the body for recovery.
So your body has moved through the tension, it's restored its range of motion. Now, it's time to prepare for actual recovery. We do this with 2 final, deeply relaxing movements. First up is the supine pigeon bridge. You lie on your back, cross one shin over your opposite knee, and just gently lift your hips. You don't force a thing. Just let gravity and your breath do all the work to release that posterior chain. Then you wrap things up with the happy baby flow. You grab your feet, pull your knees down beside your ribs, and just rock gently side to side. You're physically massaging your spine right against the floor. This is what signals to your brain that the workday is officially over. And as you rock side to side in that final movement, just let your breathing slow down too. Let everything settle. This is the exact moment you transition from a tense, locked-up day into a calm, open state that is fully ready for deep sleep. Finally, Section 5, the 15-minute daily payoff. Simple, consistent maintenance. The return on investment you get for these 15 minutes is honestly staggering. This isn't some complicated, exhausting workout protocol. If you spend just 15 minutes doing these 3 phases, just think about the long-term benefits you unlock. Your sleep quality will dramatically improve, mostly because your nervous system is actually downregulated for once. That terrible morning stiffness? Completely eliminated. You're going to have way more daily energy, and your body will finally experience true overnight physical recovery. It's an incredibly powerful system, but, you just have to be willing to actually do it. So I'll leave you with this. Will you give your body 15 minutes tonight? Seriously, put down a phone, get on the floor, and see what it feels like to finally unlock a body that's been trapped behind a desk all day. Try it tonight. I promise you're going to feel the difference tomorrow morning. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.